What's up, guys? Matt with BleepinJeep. Welcome back to the world's first off-road gooseneck. We pulled this thing in the wrong way, though, because we want to work on it from the front. Josh, can you fix that for us?
I got it.
Immediately see the benefits. Perfect. That was pretty easy. So what we wanted to do that for is we want to build the rest of the trussing. So in the last video, we got that first bar, but obviously we need more than that. We need to truss this up, including some sort of ladder bar system, because right now that's a little wonky. So we had made these frame rails. Yeah, wonky, coming out the bottom. So we need to somehow attach those up here and then make some bars going over there to make this stiff. But we wanted to make sure that it would clear the front because there's less room here on the front than there is on the rear. So that's how we're going to situate it to build it. Right?
Right.
Got anything to add? You've been awful quiet lately.
Yep.
Here's your chance.
Nope. I guess in the rear, we're just going to have to make sure that we are able to clear the ducktail when it's turning.
So all we need to do for that is maybe
Spin it back right.
we could put a little tripod or something, like showing where the ducktail would be. Ducktail.
Perfect.
Just set that right there.
Nice.
Don't build anything in that area. I don't think we'll have any problem. We're gonna be way above that. Somebody sent us these, and we think we know what they're for, and we're going to try to use them right now. My wife, the lunch lady, opened the package, and she accidentally threw away the packaging, and we have no idea who sent these. And we don't really know exactly what they're for, but we think it's for two. But if it was you that sent these, thank you very much. And let me know down in the comments below, because I've lost your contact information and any note that you might have sent along with them.
And just so you know, the magnets, you need to use stronger glue on them. They fall out.
They got bumped around a little too much in the USPS. But we glued them back, and I think what they're for, you can see on the other side there, for holding these tubes in place. At least that's what we're using them for. Just need to come out about right there. Yeah. All right. So there's our first two. Of course, we're not finished. Everybody always likes to look at that and be like, oh, that's not going to be strong enough. We're still building. What we're looking for now, though, is clearance issues. I think that's going to be great. We'll even be able to cut some of this off here. And then, of course, we have a lot more clearance. Clearance. We're clear for clearance. I forget how that goes. Anyway, on the back here, you might be saying that's really close, but on the back, we got about 3 feet, whereas on the front, it's a lot closer because we're not going to be going over mountains in this direction. Hopefully. Although it might be easier to push for some reason. I don't know why. So a lot of people were saying that it was going to cut the corners, which it kind of does. But the crazy thing about this trailer is it's so close to the Jeep. It's not like a typical trailer, because a typical trailer, you'd have a tongue, and this tire would be like, you know, another 6 feet out here. Whereas this tire and this tire are only like 3 feet apart.
It follows really well.
So it does follow very, very close to the Jeep. If we could just power it, we could make it into a 6x6.
Power.
That's the next generation. World's
Version 2.
Yeah, version 2 of the world's first off-road gooseneck trailer.
Power and rear steer.
Oh, yeah. That's so nice. All right, we're using CAD brain engineering. What that means is we're just looking at this, trying to figure out where the weak points are going to be. So obviously when you do cage work, you want to do triangulation. So we've got a triangle there, sort of a triangle here. And now we're going to create ladder bar going up here. So what we want to do, all that weak point is right now in that single tube. We're going to make that a double tube with ladders coming down. And I think what we're going to do is have that come off of that plate, horizontal with that tube, bend right under that bend, and then come down slightly more here. And then we'll have a plate made, like an 1/8 inch plate to fit right in there to strengthen that section. And that makes all that really strong and transfers. Probably the weakest portion then is going to be right in here, but I think it'll be strong enough based off of my CAD brain design.
We got a tree.
Did you get distracted?
Spark.
Oh, it looks like hair. It looks like I hit a deer.
That's what I thought at first.
That's what I was looking to.
You hit a deer somehow?
So we're looking at about 35 degrees, 36 degrees, and this is our tubing bender. We do this about just enough to forget how to do it every time we have to do it. But we drew some lines on here, so you got your outer bend. So this is the bend that the away bend. What would you call that? Like the outer edge of the bend. So it's going to bend down this way. There's the start of the bend. So if we get all that right, it'll match up over there. If we get it wrong, it's your fault and we start over.
We get it wrong, we'll just grind that a bit.
It'll be too short. It's real important to get that bend orientated right because it's already cut this side here, which mounts and hits that plate exactly right. So
We'll set a word you just used.
O word?
Yeah. Orientated.
Is that a word?
Yeah. Oriented.
I'll have to ask ChatGPT if I can use that word. We're gonna put this on 0, and then what were we gonna bend to? 36. But it's gonna snap back a little bit, so we're gonna bend about 3 degrees beyond 36. You guys ready to go for a little ride?
Oriented is British English. Oriented is American English.
It sounds too much like Oriental.
I gotta orient something, not I gotta orientate something.
I gotta go to the Orient. If you loosen this before we let it go, we won't have to get a wrench on it. There you go. This. Yay. Let's find out if it's in the ballpark.
Orientation.
If it's in the right orient. That we're kind of off a little bit. Oh, but that makes sense because it's on the inside. That would be fine.
Yeah.
Because then this will be perfect, and then those pieces will come down this way. So we'll cut it. Okay, right about there somewhere. This one's going to be a difficult one to hit. There's a lot of angles at play here. I hope you know what you're doing.
Here's where it's at.
Hold on, we gotta explain this setup here. I'm letting Josh take point on this one. And he's trying to explain to me how this works.
Okay, so the tube crosses right here.
Okay?
There's the deep cut. So the shallow cut's gonna be up here, but that only needs the deep cut at that angle.
That's such an extreme angle. If it were me, I would cut the angle on the chop saw, which you're going to have to do anyway before you notch it. But I would just get it close with the angle grinder instead of trying to notch that because it's so long, it's going to be hard to fit.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to go in and then cut it, and then go in and then cut it.
Yeah.
So probably cut it a 1/2 inch long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great.
That's the angle.
But that's the cut line. Got it.
Yeah.
That's gonna kick something fierce. This is gonna get sketchy.
Yeah.
Don't try this at home. Sometimes I'll use a plasma torch on these. That's might be what we have to do. Yeah, that's going to be a ton of grinding.
Stick it up there and see them close.
If you're good with the CNC stuff, you can make a sticker that you can wrap around it. That'll show you the exact place to cut with the plasma torch, and then you just, it's all right. So flat for me is right there. Right about there. We look like a bunch of noobs. It's a complex angle. We'll get figured out and be right back. It's hot. We had a heck of a time getting that one to look right and getting all the angles right. Check out this box of toys that I got. That's a kit from 911 Motorsports, and we're trying to use that over here to make it easier on ourselves. So we've got a line here where this needs to mount. So what this kit does is we'll kind of show you the angles. So it'll be a 60-degree cope here, and then you can measure that angle with the angle finder, and then you use a straight edge. There's another cope on this end, which instead of being coped, it's just a cut, a 60-degree straight cut. And you get that all laid out, and then what you do is you take that and you lay it on the bench, and you just copy this with your tube. The thing is going to be, will we be able to copy that on the bench better than we can just make it up in our brain on the other side? I guess we'll find out if the copes end up having a smaller gap. The answer will be yes.
I think that's where it's gonna help is the copes on the end.
What's hard is figuring out, so we know that this is coped, but it's coped so that it's offset from the angle of the tube, and that's the difficult part. Okay, let's try to match it. Now, whatever you do, don't kick this. I'm gonna gently lay it down. Now, where's the other tube at? All right, here's where this thing comes in handy. What we're gonna do, put this down. We'll put this over the top of it. Make sure it's perfectly lined up, and then we will mark our cuts. What are you doing? He's moving things.
Just a tool. The clamps need to be out of the way.
Now you just changed everything.
No.
Everything just changed.
We're good. I filled it.
Line that back up. Okay, and then we're gonna mark 60 degrees here. That's easy enough. You can just say, all right, we're gonna do a 60-degree cut. Problem is, we gotta figure out, like, so this isn't perfectly, like, on the edge.
Right, there's the center. It's a little bit high from middle, so the center and a little bit high from middle. And that should be the center
of the cut. Okay.
Of the cut.
Perfect. All right, we can't get this in the chop saw at that steep angle, so we're just gonna cut it with the angle grinder. If I keep my angle grinder level, it should work, right? Here's the real secret to cutting a straight line. Putting your face right in the line of fire. Right there. Close.
Now this should be perfect, right?
If we did everything correctly, this should fit right up with no gaps in between. I think the likelihood of that is slim. Let's see what we have. Mine wants to be like that. That kit didn't help at all. We're just as bad, if not worse, as when we tried to do it by hand. Somebody in the comments said I should not reinvent the wheel and just use a typical gooseneck. This way, to the left. Out a little bit. Right there. Welcome back. Good morning. We stayed out pretty late last night getting this thing welded together, and it's looking really good actually. All the welds came out nice, made an X up there. We're still going to add some bracing, don't worry. But I think I'm going to have my buddy Walker make a bracing in there that says the name of the trailer, and then maybe a little logo right here in that triangle. And that will be all the bracing that we need, I'm pretty sure. But to find out how this is going to do, I want to take it out again and do some ripping. You ready to do some ripping?
Hopefully we're not doing too much ripping.
Josh put in some new struts right here this morning. You're gonna have to jump to grab that. He also, inside here, patched up a little bit of the floor. I thought we were just using duct tape and foam.
Yeah, I just like to go a little fancy.
Got a little 90-degree brace right here, which is going to strengthen that wall, but also we'll be able to slide the window into there. We're just going to glue it in. Nothing fancy there. And then, once we figure out that this is going to work great, I might make a little basket case up in there to be able to throw things in, like our camp chairs and whatever you want. And then some little hooks up there to strap things down. We'll probably whack these off, cut them shorter, cap them. And then the same thing with the caps up here. You didn't lock it, did you? Oh no. Cap this off somehow. But I think right up here would be a great basket. It's about, I don't know, 5 foot long and 6 inches tall. Okay. Ready to rip?
Nope.
No? Dana 35 looks so tiny. Pretty crazy. That easy. Hard to do in reverse. Pretty cool. It just pivots the tires. One rotates forward, the other rotates backwards. It pulled just slightly. I could feel it right when it was over here. It just went like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely flexing. Where? Yeah, it must be happening right at the bend. But see how she flexes. Oh, it's a little baby deer. Did you see that? No. Oh, there he is. Check that out. I think you need some air in your right rear tire. Oh, I was wondering why I was feeling so strange. You know what you need to do now? Push the trailer up the RTI ramp. Oh, I could turn it around and push it. Yeah. That wouldn't be too bad. We gotta put more lug nuts on that thing too. We never did put the lug nuts on it. It's got 2. 2 on the spacers and 2 on the wheels.
pretty sweet.
Showing off a little bit of rust there. That's pretty good when you think about it. So the weird thing about a trailer is it's only got one axle. It doesn't really want to flex. It doesn't want to stuff because there's no other half of the Jeep like forcing it to stuff. So it basically just stays with the axle. It doesn't flex too much. But what we really wanted to check out was whether or not this system up here was going to work. And it seems to do really good. The only thing I can think is if we accidentally did roll it, it would be pretty hard to upright it. But seeing as how the Jeep is still flat and this is this far articulated, I think that's going to be pretty difficult to do in real life. Because the Jeep would also be flexed that way.
Right.
In most circumstances.
Right there. This might take a minute.
See if you can do it.
I don't know if I can do that.
The object of the game is to bypass it with the trailer and hit it with the tire. This thing is really hard to back up because the pivot point is in the middle of the Jeep. So by the time you get the Jeep started to turn, or by the time you get the trailer started to turn, it really starts turning, and then you can't straighten the Jeep out. It's really odd. Let's see what Josh has got here. Okay, he's coming up on the, oh, now he's doing the same thing I did. I was getting close to that one side. Keep going, you'll hit that side at least. Alright, it's got plenty of clearance. I think even if it was directly behind it, it would have plenty of clearance. Okay, so he's gonna try to push that thing around the corner, through the woods, down the trail here, and then up this big dirt pile. But it's not the easiest thing to even push, for the same reason. Comanche doesn't turn sharp enough. I think it'd be great with the Scorpion. The only real way to back this trailer is to just turn it around and push it. It's easy enough to push it.
Yeah.
But backing it up,
No.
not happening.
That's really steep.
I'm afraid I'm gonna fall off of the left side here.
You got about 2 feet.
Do I?
Yeah.
It's hard to see through all the
Brush.
grass. Is that a good photo up?
It looks pretty cool.
She's a beaut. So, when we go off-road, we just have to push it everywhere. Everywhere we go, we just push it.
Push it all over the place.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine being pulled behind you. But as soon as you have to back up, like if you go down the wrong trail and you're like, oh no, I gotta back up 200 yards, it's...
Hope there's a trailer size clearing.
Hopefully you'll be able to spin it around, otherwise...
Yeah, that's, at least with this Jeep, that's not a backer. It might be doable with the Scorpion, but even then it's gonna be tough.
Or if you had rear steer on the trailer,
Yeah.
but then you'd have to have one person controlling the trailer and one person driving.
You just put a seat in the trailer with a steering wheel.
That would be cool. Alright, Josh has to tell me when to stop.
I'd stop there.
any more impressive because
the Jeep's climbing.
Jeep is pointed upward.
Oh, it's still, the trailer's so high in the air right now, it's still pretty cool. This looks like a Cherokee trying to back over the hill.
Imagine a regular trailer doing something like that even. All right, well now we know it works. We're looking out over it and basically the thing is done. The only thing we have to do now is all of the accoutrements, the cool little things that we need to add to it, like storage, power, batteries, a floor. I mean, you can get away without a floor. But let's make a list. It's going to be a really long list. That's why I got this really long piece of cardboard. So I'd like to make a rack under the gooseneck. So rack under goose. Feel free to chime in with anything.
Have we got to get the filler panels?
Yeah, so we've got some filler panels that's going to be, have the name of it under there. Oh, you know what would be cool on the top? Above the rack is to have some like little hooks so you could put bungee cords in there to hold stuff in the rack. How about, does anybody know what this means? RTT?
Rooftop tent.
Rooftop tent. I think we still have another factory piece. Maybe we'll just attach it to the factory roof rails. But we do need to
Attach the roof rails to the Jeep.
attach those to the Jeep. So roof rails.
Rear bumper.
Oh yeah, rear bumper. What should we do for the rear bumper, guys? Should we make something custom or should we see if we could get one sponsored, like a cool one?
Or a factory one.
Oh yeah, factory one.
We need to put lug nuts on it.
Lug nuts.
If we're going to do a false floor and put batteries and stuff under it.
False floor storage.
Lighting.
I'm gonna put battery, lights.
Water.
Should we hook up the rear lights so that they function? That'd be hard to do.
That'd be hard to do because...
Especially with since it spins 360.
Yeah, you'd have to have a...
Maybe we could just hook it up to the battery in here so that it could just be flashers, like if we had to get on the road.
I was going to say, we don't have rear lights that function on the Comanche, so...
The door, the hatch. The hatch is locked. We can't seem to open the hatch. Oh, window. Okay.
Shower.
Shower. Josh wants a heated shower.
Yes.
I'm gonna say cold. Cold shower. All right, I'm gonna make this list. While I'm making this list, you guys make a list of what you'd like to see down in the comments below. If we get enough comments about it, we'll try to add it into this. I know that you guys wanted to do the alternator on the pinion, so we are racking our brains trying to figure that out, and we're gonna come up with something cool. So let's get started. All right, so first up, I want to add a little bit of storage. So you guys had a great idea of using the fuel tank to add storage, but instead of using it to add fuel storage, I'd like to cut it in half, make a false floor, and have this open right here. So similar to the way we did in the jalopy, I'll sink this down into the floor, but I'm gonna cut it in half. We'll have a little door here, and you'll have storage underneath. What we'll put in there, I'm not sure, but maybe like a water bladder for the shower or something like that. So first, what I wanna do, I probably should fill this with water before I cut it, but we're gonna do the same thing that we did on the Matt's Off-Road Games jalopy, which is cut a hole in the floor and just sink that down and weld it in. Okay, I hope you guys really like this because that's a lot of work for a little bit of storage. What we're going to do is put some sort of flat plate over this with a little hinge on it or something. That way there'll be hidden storage here. And then over here, Josh is working on more storage. He's filling in the holes here, but then he removed the tunnel, the drive shaft tunnel, to get even more storage in the middle there. And then we'll have some sort of flat plate that comes along and storage compartment underneath here. You'll probably have about 8 inches by whatever that is, 5 feet of storage there.
Yeah, a battery or two. Or side mount it.
Side mount a battery?
Yeah.
Under there?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we putting all the marshmallows?
I don't know. We need the little crank, Wayne's World crank thing, dispenser.
Yeah. Somebody said that we definitely needed more space underneath for extra marshmallow storage. Taking that tunnel out definitely added more marshmallow storage. Look, it's the mailman! Oh yeah, I could store marshmallows in there. Alright, you might have guessed we're making a basket for our basket case. Let's take you back over and see if you guys are gonna fit. It's close, but I need to make some slight modifications there. Somehow I got that angle off. But I hear the lunch lady! We had a few people saying that the lunch lady was absent, but
He's always present.
in reality, we just didn't film the lunch lady. She brings us delicious lunches every day. Oh, we got curly fries, and what are these?
Those are Italian sub sandwiches, and I brought some extra bread in case you guys want more, and then I brought some watermelon.
Watermelon?
It's under the french fries.
Do I need to taste it and show everybody how good it is?
I mean, obviously.
Mmm. Mmm.
You're silly.
Mmm. Does it taste good?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, the lunch lady has to do the taste testing today.
You would pick the messiest meal I could possibly taste test.
It's not good unless you get some all over your shirt. Now you gotta fall over and kick your legs. Hi. Alright, check that out. Got it tacked in. Actually moved this outside because I had to clean up. Tonight I'm doing a podcast called Overland Weekly. I think I'll put the Jeep back in here with the trailer since it's an Overland podcast. But if that comes out before this video is released, I'll leave a link for you guys below so you can check it out. We'll see you guys in the next video where we're going to start putting the interior and all the accessories in the Gooseneck off-road trailer. See you then.